weekly vlog number 16. I am in Omaha, Nebraska, where I've been for the past few days in rehearsal mode, in pre-production mode for the upcoming Mannheim Steamroller Tour 2023. I have been busy prepping a brand new drum kit by Canopus. So excited to be playing this drum kit. It is a Canopus Yaiba Birch series drum kit in indigo blue, and the sizes are 10, 12, 13 rack toms, 14 and 16 floor toms, 22-inch bass drum with matching 6.5 by 14 snare drum. Again, all birch. And so got the kit reheaded with all of my Aquarian drum heads. I'm using, again, so glad to be endorsing Aquarian drum heads. Absolutely love their products. And on the toms, I'm using the clear Super 2s. On the bottoms of the toms, I'm using the, gosh, what are they called? Just a standard clear, just one ply clear. I can't think of the name of them right now. It's late. My brain is fried. But, and on the snare drum, I'm using the coated single ply with a dot, texture coated with a dot. And on the bottom of the snare drum, I'm trying a different head for the snare side that I found in the drawer here at Mannheim. It's called the power snare side or something like this. Super snare side. I can't remember exactly the name, but it's got these two white portions on the head where the strainer, the edges of the strainer rest. And so I'm not sure exactly what the design is, but I'm guessing that it's sort of reinforced a little bit where those two end pieces of the strainer, or rather the snares, the end pieces of the snares rest on the head, and I think it's just reinforced a little bit there. I'm not sure, but it was there, and I'm using it. It sounds great. Super Kick 2 on the batter side of the kick, and brand new logo head from Vintage Logos for the Mannheim Steamroller logo front bass drum head, who really came through in a pinch for me. So thanks to them for making that happen. They were super easy to work with, and I highly recommend if you need a logo head. VintageLogos.com, I believe, is the website, but just do a search for Vintage Logos and it will pop up. They were ultra easy to work with, helpful, and affordable, and I must say they really came through in a pinch, like I said, because I had another company lined up to do the logo head, which ended up not working out for reasons that I'm not going to get into. But you know, about a week out, I found out this information, so I had to, you know, make a quick phone call and ended up going with Vintage Logos. So props to them for making that happen. So yeah, I've just been, I got in here on, let's see, I flew here on Sunday. I think it was Sunday, my gosh. Today's Tuesday, Tuesday night, about to be midnight here. And so I got here on Sunday and went straight to the Mannheim production facility and started to work on the drums and just got everything collected and found all the drum heads, the boxes. Had some trouble. We couldn't find the box of drumsticks that was delivered from Innovative Percussion, and it was I was starting to freak out a little bit because we searched the facility high and low, uh, right, left, up, and down, and really were coming up empty. And ultimately, I was talking to my artist rep at Innovative, and I had the confirmation number from UPS, and it said that it had been delivered. It showed the date and the time and the person who even received it. It was all a little bit strange. Apparently, though, for some reason, the box ended up in this sort of stairwell that's sort of adjacent to the building that connects to another office, like another company's office. I'm not exactly sure what all of that entails, but eventually someone from shipping and receiving was able to find the box, and there it was in the stairwell, and all is good again. So I have my supply of Innovative percussion sticks. I'm actually using a different model of stick for this tour, and probably from here on out, I'm guessing, for the bulk of this year, I'd been using a larger, thicker, meatier stick, kind of switching back and forth between three different models. The Matt Billingsley stick, which I had been using prior to this year. So I'm pretty much all out of those, although I like those very much. They feel great. I was also using the 5BL from Innovative, which I like those, but again, just kind of heavy, a little too heavy, a little too thick for my hands. And just sometimes I would, when I was first starting out to play, they just felt kind of sluggish, and until I got really, really warmed up, they started to feel good. But it would take a while for those to really feel good in my hand and just feel like lightning fast. And maybe just something about the taper and the balance of it that I just didn't enjoy as much. And the other stick I was using and just kind of playing around with a bit was the 1A, which I don't know if anybody outside of Innovative even offers. Sort of like a 5B, but a little bit of a different taper down towards the end of the tip, and the tip shape itself is more of a barrel shape, as opposed to the 5BL, which has more of an acorn sort of arrowhead type shape. And so, to get to the point, I'm now using a 5AL, so a little thinner, still with the same length. The length of the stick is very, very important to me, because I just like that extra, I don't know if it's an eighth of an inch. I guess it's an eighth of an inch length. It just offers me a little bit extra throw, and when I start hitting harder, I don't feel like I have to back down on the stick so much. With a normal 5A model, with that, especially with that length, really of any thickness or weight, I find that I end up kind of like backing off the stick towards the butt end of the stick, almost to the end of it, right to the butt end of it, and that's not good for rebound and balance, and you're just not getting as good of a tone, or it just doesn't feel as well. So with the 5ALs, just that little bit of extra length on the stick, about maybe like that much, it makes a difference. It makes a big difference. So I'm not like traveling up and down the stick as much, and I just have enough leverage on the 5AL that I don't, it's not shifting around in my hand so much. And they're just thinner, and they feel better in my hand, and within the fulcrum, they just have a nice, for my hands, I don't have like huge hands or anything, so in fact, just the opposite. I have kind of short, stubby drummer's hands, and so the thinner stick works better for me just physically from a physical standpoint, but also I like the sound of them. I don't need as much meat on the stick to, when you hit the ride, you'll notice that with a thicker stick you're going to get more of a spread on the cymbal versus with a lighter stick like a 5A, so versus a 5B. With the 5A, you're going to get more of an articulate sound. You're going to hear more of the articulation of the cymbal, that is the tick, like the wood hitting the cymbal, and less spread, less wash on the ride. And it allows you to play a little bit quieter, honestly, and that's a good thing in my book, because I don't really need to. I mean, with a show like Mannheim, and really overall, I don't need to be playing like insanely loud. It's just I play loud. I play loud enough, certainly, probably, and then some. But I don't need any help from the stick to let me play louder, and I have full control over that just with my chops and my hands, and the control that I have over the stick. So yeah, going with the 5ALs from here on out. Really liking. We did our first rehearsal today and ran through the whole show, top to bottom. Some things to work out, some little kinks, little wrinkles to iron out, just especially like with some of the intros and outros. The main parts of the song I'm fairly good with overall, on all the songs. It's just and it's the same thing, I mentioned before, that I'm trying to memorize the show, and I don't know if that's going to be totally possible, because there's so many darn bell parts and mallet parts and sort of non-drum set parts that I really, until we're really in the thick of the tour, maybe 2 weeks in, or maybe even more, I don't know, then maybe it'll start to really sink in. But for now I'm reading. I'm not really reading. There's some parts of some songs I'm reading, and other parts I'm not reading at all. So I'm kind of halfway there. Let's just say I'm halfway there. But I forget my point in bringing that up. But so we ran through the show today, and there's just some things that we're ironing out, and especially the intros and outros that can be a little tricky. There's some weird phrases and odd phrases and things that are a little unpredictable, asymmetrical phrases and this sort of thing. So but overall it went really great. We have a new piano player, new person in the band. His name is Mark Nelson. He's from Chicago. He's awesome. He sounds great. We've been hanging out. We had dinner, just the two of us tonight, talking, just learning about each other, getting to know each other. So it's really great. Let's see what else. There's so much to talk about. There's a lot of new improvements in the production, especially in the monitor world. We now have a dedicated monitor desk that Nate, our monitor engineer, will be running, which means that we have full in-ear mix, stereo mix. We can dial in anything we want that's on stage, as much or as little, pan it left, right, have full control over every mic that's on stage, and as well with the track and click. Although I gotta say that the only thing left now is the click is still baked into the track, so that you can't These tracks were made in the 80s. I mean, this is all analog stuff. This stuff was made on like a tape machine. So the tracks have the click baked into them. So in other words, if you want to hear more click, then and you turn up the click, you're also turning up the track, and vice versa. If you want to hear more or less track, then you're going to hear more or less click. So they're not independent of each other. It's all or nothing kind of thing. So I'm still trying to work on my mix a little bit. I think I got a little bit excited with having all the band in my monitors mix today. That when it came time to play and stay with the click and stay with some of the songs, and you have to know that some of the songs, they might start out with click, but the click goes away, and you're just playing with the track. So there is no click for much of it. And what was happening was there was a lot of pushing and pulling, and it is hard for me to discern, am I hearing the track or am I hearing like the keyboards on stage, the band, live band? And so if something starts to push me or pull me, forward or backward, I might, if I go with it, thinking it's the track, but really it's not the track, it's one of the other musicians, then that can get me into a lot of trouble. So I'm just working on, and I'll be working on this tomorrow. Tomorrow's our last day of rehearsal. As well, we'll have a few run-throughs, I believe, in our first venue down in Pensacola. But just trying to dial in, like, how much band do I want versus how much of the track do I want, and what's the best combination or ratio there. So it'll work itself out. So yeah, I've been here in Omaha. It's been great. It's been great weather. My gosh, it's been so warm here. Normally in the past, there's been snow on the ground and it's like freezing temps. The last time I was here was last Christmas, and it was literally minus 40 degrees. The whole city was shut down. It was like a restaurant. You couldn't even find food to eat. It was insane. I wasn't really doing YouTube videos back then like this, where I've talked to the camera I wish I had been to describe to you what it was really like in the moment and what I was feeling, what I was going through. It was Christmas Eve, and, I was basically by myself in a hotel room, and that was the first time I had experienced that maybe ever. I'd been away from family and from, out on the road during Christmas before, and I remember doing cruise ships and being away, but like you're surrounded with people and your friends, and you have tons of just comrades all around you and camaraderie. But what made last Christmas really different was I didn't have that. Most of the band, not most, but a lot of the band and production people, a lot of them live here in Nashville, so they all went home to their families. And I was kind of left by myself in a lot of ways. It was sad, really sad. No, it was fine. I was fine, but the worst part about it was the cold, honestly, because it just kind of made everything shut down, and it was just super painful to go outside and try and find food. Anyway, I'm just reminiscing about what that was like last year. Kind of kicking myself for not starting this blog sooner, because it was quite the adventure with me joining up with Mannheim last year in the middle of the tour. And all the challenges that I faced in doing that. So it's kind of nice this year having having full notice and knowing kind of what I'm getting into, what to expect, and having all the preliminary stuff sort of be set here for me. We have costumes. So like I had yesterday, we did a fitting for the costume, and we have to wear a certain thing on stage, and got to make sure all the clothes fit and that you have just everything that you need. And last year I really didn't have that. Like I flew out and joined the tour, and it was like, okay, we need to find you a jacket and a shirt and like something that will fit you, that won't fall off. So this year it's nice just having all the prep time, as well as like even right down to like payroll and all the tax forms to fill out, and just all the information coming in from the emails, and the logistics, the travel end of it, the tour itinerary, and so on. So yeah, it's great. It's great to have the gig, gotta say. What else? So not only do I have a brand new Canopus Yaiba birch kit, but I also have a brand new set of Istanbul Agop cymbals, which I played today in rehearsal, and they are just sublime. I mean, just magnifico. I went with a few tried and true, like my hi-hats are the 15-inch mediums, and I've been using those back home in Nashville quite a bit this year. So I went with that choice again, just because I love how they sound. They have a nice, thick, meaty sound, but they're fast enough, and they respond quick enough for faster passages and just lighter playing and stuff too. But they're real, like, you can really lay into them, and they really have this nice, thick, meaty sound, and still pretty. They're sort of crispy, but still low pitched, so they're sort of out of the way of any guitar parts, or they're just not very grating on your ears. They're very pleasant. It's very warm and just kind of buttery type of sound. So those are the hats, and let's see. So let's go left to right. I haven't taken pictures of this yet, so maybe I don't know if I can show pictures of these or not as I'm explaining them. But 18-inch Exist Ion Crash, which I also have at home. I love that cymbal. It's awesome, and it's just a wonderful like white noise, just sort of trashy sound. It's kind of in and out. It's a quick cymbal. 19-inch Exist Crash, which I also use at home all the time. A little bit on the brighter end of the Exist, or of the Agop line, and sort of a medium weight. So just a nice, just a nice thick sort of medium crash sound. 19-inch is always been my favorite crash size. Love a 19-inch crash. I don't know, just something about it. And then I have a 21-inch Exist Ride, and now that one was a sort of a little bit of a gamble, because I'd never played a 21-inch Exist Ride before, but just based on what I know of Agop, the line and the Exist line and the 21-inch size, I'm a huge fan of the 21-inch ride cymbal in general. I love 21-inch rides. They're just perfect. I don't know, just that sort of that happy medium between a 20 and a 22. Sometimes the 20 is too small, sometimes the 22 is too big, and so the 21, why not? And it's just, the bell is just so, oh my gosh, it just sounds so good, and just you can crash it. Obviously you can ride it. I mean, it does it all. It really does. And the bell is nice and articulate, and sort of separate from the wash in the body of the cymbal. So that's important to me. I don't want to hit the bell and have the whole cymbal like be washing out as well, or like ringing out. I just want to hear the bell, like just the bell, and then if I go back to the edge of the cymbal, separate sounds, separate voices there. And then on my far right side is a 20-inch medium crash, and again that's a new weight for me. I've played the 20-inch thin crash, which is also really nice. Those are a little punchier, a little bit quicker, a little bit like in and out, but the medium crash has more of like a wham kind of like, and that's what I was looking for. It's just a big sort of impact sound, but still. So between the 19 exist crash and the 20-inch traditional medium crash, there's a high and a low, and it's a beautiful combination because I love having those voices on the cymbals, like having a high and a low. And really, if you can include the ride, it's even like a high, a medium, and a low, or you want to call it a high, a low, and a super low. But just a beautiful blend, in the 20-inch traditional crash, just so rich, and the overtones, and just what a fantastic, beautiful cymbal, real wobbly, buttery, and just creamy sounding. And then last but not least, I have a 10-inch Exist Splash that I'm using. I've never used a splash cymbal on this gig. So just kind of, I thought, it'd be fun to have a little splash and just see if I can kind of incorporate it into a few spots here and there where like just punctuate some accents and, just kind of breaks up the monotony of all the big crash cymbals and whatnot. So 10-inch Exist Splash, which sounds like a splash cymbal should. It's just like bing, it's just a splash, and it's in and out, and it's great, very pleasant sounding. So yeah, that's the lineup of cymbals that I'm using, and I'm again just ecstatic, just so happy with them, so more than satisfied with all of that gear. So yeah, and I'll be doing an actual gear rig rundown once we get into some venues, and I'll have some time. We get comfortable. We make sure everybody, I'll have some time in the showroom to, maybe find some quiet time where I can talk and show off all the gear, because there's other things to show you. There's new pedals. The configuration is a little bit different than I've used. I've moved some things around, and I'll just be able to demonstrate some of the sounds of the drums and cymbals and whatnot. So talk about some of the miking patterns. The miking pattern is different. I have overhead mics. We never used to have overhead mics on this gig. So that's a huge, massive improvement. Just colossal. Between the drums, the cymbals, and the miking configuration, those three items, I mean, it's just what a giant we've made giant leaps here in quality of production and sound, and just helps me do my job at the very best level that I can. So yeah, that's what I've been doing anyway. So I've been out of town since Sunday. I left Sunday very early morning. It was like a 7:30 a.m. flight, but I had to be up at like 4:30 just to get to the airport and stuff. So it's been a wild kind of week. There's been times when it's like 6 p.m. but it feels like midnight, and I think maybe the time change had something to do with that too, probably. But nonetheless, it's been great. I'm so glad to be here. And like I said, tomorrow is our last day of rehearsal, which really is a morning. It's a 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then I'll be heading to the airport 3 p.m. for my flight back to Nashville, getting in pretty late, a little bit before midnight. And then I have the next few days at home to just, shore up any details, spend the last few days with the family before I leave for good on Sunday and fly down to Pensacola, where our first show is on the 14th. And then we are wham bam, thank you ma'am, smack dab, just like in the middle, but we just begin the tour, and it's just like going from 0 to 100. Because every day is a show day all the way up until Thanksgiving at that point. So it'll be intense and grueling and but all exciting and thrilling and very gratifying as well. So really looking forward to performing for the audiences who have tickets to come see us. And if you don't have your tickets, you can always, it's not too late to get them. Go to the Mannheim Steamroller website. There's a ticket link. There's also, you can go to my website and go to my on-stage page, touring page, and shows you all the dates where I am, and there's a link there to buy tickets as well. brianzach.com. I think that's it. I'm in this beautiful hotel room. It's a Hilton. It's been really, really quite good. It's clean. It's, there's breakfast downstairs in the morning and making coffee over in the room here, when I wake up. So, yeah, I'm pretty tired, as you can probably tell just by my voice, and probably my eyes are drooping and God knows what else is happening. But just wanted to come on here and just at least begin this weekly vlog. I might finish it here, or I don't know, maybe we'll continue it from home. But I just wanted to get these thoughts out onto the camera and out to you guys while they're still fresh in my brain. I hope I'm not forgetting anything, but I want to say it's so great to see all the familiar faces from the Mannheim camp again. Many of the people return year after year, and some of them have been here for decades, literally decades. And so it's really awesome to see that and be part of that, and get to know these wonderful staff and the artists and the production team and crew, and everybody works their butt off out here, and I just really appreciate it. So especially the guys that I work with very directly, guys and girls, but I'm thinking of Terry, I'm thinking of Nate, I'm thinking of Gretchen, Chelsea, Melanie, Ariel, and obviously my band members, everyone that I share the bus with, the bus driver. I don't know who we have for a bus driver yet, but we'll find out when we go to Florida. I'm just so appreciative of everybody that they come out here and they're professional and they do their jobs and they're ultra cool and they're good hang. That does not go unnoticed, and it certainly isn't always like that. I've been on the road with people who are like full-blown alcoholics, people who are like all messed up on drugs, and I have to like carry them back to their room, or incidents with the police, and just, oh my gosh, I could write a book. Stuff where you get put into like dangerous situations or compromising situations, and just, you know, so it's just nice to be with a bunch of cool people who act like adults and treat the job like a professional. That's just way, way, way cool in my book. So hopefully they feel the same about me. I do my best. So with that in mind, thank you for watching this far. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I have a Patreon, www.patreon.com/BrianZach. And I also teach drum lessons at home and online. So look me up at my website, brianzach.com, and write me a message there. And follow me on socials at BrianZach, Instagram, Facebook. And again, you know, thanks. If you're already subscribed, I appreciate it so much. Thanks for watching these videos. And look forward to the next one. And please leave a comment, and I will do my best to reply to you. And if you have any suggestions for future videos and things that you want to cover, that you want me to cover, and things that you want to know, maybe about Mannheim or about behind the scenes, or what bus life is like, or who knows, anything, just anything that you're interested in, just write it in the comments and I will see it and do my best to cover those things. Maybe you want to talk about the music, maybe talk about the rehearsals, talk about how the music is laid out. You know, there's lots of things we could talk about and kind of dive into. So anyway, I'll save it for the next one. Thank you, take care, and BrianZach signing off.